Since the start of the year, you guys have played 17 games, 15 of which you've been able to pick up at least a point, but perhaps maybe not playing your best of late. What are the important lessons in picking up those points, but also not maybe playing to where you feel they need to be?
Well, I think there's two things you're talking about, and it's an important quality to be able to stay in a tight game, not give up the opportunities that can allow you to end up losing a point in the game, because points are big. I think we've learned a lot of lessons along the way. You're not going to be the best team every night. There's lots of examples of that. And when you're not the best team, you have to find ways to win. And I think we've become a team that has found ways to win. Found ways to win with keeping games tight, keeping games tied, getting it to overtime where you give yourself a chance for 2 points.
I know we've talked a little bit about it, but when you're able to do that also without your best player, what does that do for a group?
Well, every team deals with injuries, and they deal with injuries to key players, whether it's a key defenseman. We've had plenty of guys out. We're missing our top offensive players. So common sense says if your top offensive guy is out, you may not be as good offensively, so you have to play better defensively. I thought we played a really sound defensive game in Columbus. Made a couple mistakes that gave them a couple good opportunities that our goaltender made great saves. But we played a sound game.
When you have an optional skate and you see 95, 99% of your team out there, what does that tell you as a coach?
Well, it tells me that it's an 8 o'clock game tonight, and it's going to be a long day, and they didn't want to sit around all that day, so they went out for a little skate. That's all it tells me.
What's the importance of video coaching when it comes to, with the lack of practice, trying to show these guys a way to correct things? I know you talked about the lack of practice, lack of opportunities on the ice, so how does the video side become so important?
Well, when you look at, trying to execute or trying to change some situations, if it's another team's strength you're playing, usually what you're trying to reinforce is what you're doing really well. And we've been trying to reinforce if we do this and this and this. And by showing them, here's the opportunity to, if we do it well, here's the results we got. And there was lots of examples. You look at the game-winning goal the other night. There's examples there of pulling up, hitting a late guy, getting people in net, getting our defensemen involved. So those are the types of video situations that we'll run through before a game.
And speaking of that goal, Boquist intercepted the pass that started that rush. Is that showing that the kind of defensive effect where you're forcing the turnover and they can start that rush the opposite way?
Well, I think every team realizes that, if you can create turnovers through the neutral zone or around the blue line before the other team can get in structure, you're going to give yourself a better chance to create something. And every team has a structure through the neutral zone or harps in their players to get back in a hurry. And when we do, and we play the game quick, we're a good transition team.
What lessons do you take away from last time you played St. Louis, and what are you kind of expecting tonight?
Well, we had a lot of opportunities. We have to clean up. I mean, if you look at the last game, we made some big mistakes, and if we clean up some of those mistakes, it puts ourselves in a better opportunity to win a hockey game. On the offensive side, we did a real good job of generating some really good opportunities. So we want to focus on that. We want to focus on playing the game quick.
The theory is next man up, so someone's got to step up. It's only been 3 games, but in Jack's absence, has anyone noticeably, in your eyes, taken advantage, stepped up a little bit?
Well, I think again we're talking about our group, and on any given night, it's been somebody different. Our defense have been involved. It was all defense scoring one game. I think if you look at the play Mike McLeod made, you could look at that as a big play that, maybe a play similar to Jack would make inside a game. So there's been a lot of different guys that have participated. The one game where Platt ended up getting us a couple goals. So it's been a number of players, and I think on any given night it can be one of those different players to be able to step up.